that some people did something, all of us were starting to lose.
What's up, guys? Benny. Amazing things are happening, and I have a little story time for you. A source at DHS tells me that they were tasked with investigating Ilhan Omar's immigration status and history, and that they found evidence dead to rights of Ilhan Omar committing egregious immigration fraud, using her family in illegal ways to create chain migration to Somalia to bring as many Somalis into Minneapolis as she possibly can. She used American government resources like USAID to do so, and that the Trump administration has been reviewing these documents. Now, I don't know if there's a formal investigation or not. I don't know what's going to happen next, but that's what I've been told. So I suppose we'll see. Yeah, the point is that we're going to talk about Ilhan Omar's finances today and also her super sketchy background. And I want you to know that information because it's the information that I know, and I want to obviously tell you everything that I know. But then also, I want to set the table for what I think is going to happen in the future, because I think Ilhan Omar's done. We've seen a number of the squad members get kicked out of Congress, get thrown to the curb. This has happened to 2 or 3 of them, and Ilhan Omar may be the next to go. Now, when I saw this from the official account of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services under Homeland Security, I said, wow, this seems like a veiled threat at Ilhan Omar. Marriage fraud is a crime. A Nigerian alien learned this lesson the hard way in attempting to circumvent immigration laws by entering a fraudulent marriage. We worked closely with ICE and apprehended the alien right on site. And that seemed like someone was tweeting or subtweeting at Ilhan Omar, because it's a matter of fact that Ilhan Omar committed marriage fraud, that she married her brother. That's a matter of record. Daily Mail exclusive. Ilhan Omar did marry her brother and said she would do whatever she had to get him papers to stay in the United States and keep him here, reveals Somali community leader. So the entire community is turning against her. They didn't have a Muslim marriage. They had a Christian marriage. Her brother is some fruity lunatic. Her entire family is filled with war criminals from Somalia. This may beg the question, why does Minneapolis have to be the dumping grounds for a bunch of Somali refugees from the failed state of Somalia? And that is, I think, a very important question that a lot of people are asking these days. What the hell were we doing here exactly? I mean, what are we going to do? Import all of the third world into the American heartland? You obviously know the answer to that. The goal was to forever change Minneapolis into little Somalia, which is what they've done, and then to be able to create political power. This is how Ilhan Omar gets to Congress. But Ilhan Omar has to have as many Somalis in Minneapolis as possible in order to win her seat. And so Ilhan Omar needs to commit immigration fraud in order to do this. This entire article has all of the documentation, all of the firsthand witnesses to this, the community of Somalis obviously talking about what happened there, and Ilhan Omar with her new husband. Well, they got some big problems. Even Donald Trump, by the way, knows this.
Omar, how about Omar? Omar's in there too. She doesn't like Israel too much, does she, huh? Didn't she marry her brother, right? She came in, she married her brother. This is nice. And they don't do anything about it.
Do something about it. I think that it's just you've seen this with Trump a lot. I think it's just like an ace up the sleeve. President Trump just knows that he could destroy Ilhan Omar at any time. And you should do deportations. I mean, you should honestly, it should be the first member of Congress deported. Not just that, but Ilhan Omar talking about 9/11. We've all heard this. Ilhan Omar, on 9/11, some people did something. She's just a wretched monster. Here she is saying that we need to completely dismantle the police department in Minneapolis. What a sick world that we've lived in. What a sick world we live in. That here's your member of Congress here in America. What the hell? Our founders are just like, oh, spinning in their graves at an RPM. And a bunch of these like smooth-brained, low IQ people being like, we need to completely dismantle the police department. It's just crazy. Look at this. This is the documentation. This is the documentation that Ilhan Omar married her brother. It's in black and white. Anyway, I think the gig's up, right? They've been tweeting a lot about marriage fraud as a crime. And I think the gig is up. And this is why Ilhan Omar is trying to cash in as much as possible. Ilhan Omar is trying to create a Ilhan Omar defense fund because she knows this is coming. She knows she's a criminal. Ilhan Omar's net worth skyrockets to 30 million months after denying that she was a millionaire. Isn't that interesting? Let's go ahead and read here. Ilhan Omar reported a net worth of $30 million in her latest financial disclosure. A document signed months after the Congresswoman dismissed claims that she was a millionaire is ridiculous, categorically false. The disclosure, filed in May, far-left squad lawmaker and her husband, Tim Minette, experienced a roughly 35,000% increase in net worth in just the last 2 years. Wow, how would that be? How could that be? The financial gains came from Minette's two businesses. Santa Rosa, California-based winery and venture capital firm, headquarters in D.C. Omar valued the winery's assets as between $1 million and $5 million in her latest disclosure. By comparison, the winery was only worth $15,000 in the previous financial disclosure. More dramatic was the explosion growth of the venture capital firm. Would you look at that? This is like the Bidens. This is the way the Bidens do it. Rose Lake Capital's assets were valued at $5 million to $25 million by the end of 2024. The company had less than $1,000 in assets the previous year. Oh, well, would you look at that? Notably, income from the venture capital firm is listed as none. But between $50,000 the previous year, Rose Lake Capital claims that it had $60 billion in assets under management, according to the company's website. The company touts a deep global network built from the ground of 80 countries working across business, politics, banking, and diplomacy. It offers clients expertise. And this is absolutely a money laundering operation into Ilhan Omar's bank account. That's exactly what this is. This is how you bribe Ilhan Omar. The Congresswoman cried disinformation in February when asked if she was a millionaire. The disclosure does list as much as $100,000 in credit card and student loan debt owed by Omar. She has between $1,000 and $15,000 in her Congressional Credit Union savings account. Omar's office did not immediately respond for comment. So now she suddenly has $30 million because of a venture capital firm that only had $1,000 last year. Now it has $30 million. Got it. Okay. So how is that even possible? Well, for government fraud, I mean, you can. So it's like this is an international businesses and organizations and nation states can donate or can put money into Ilhan Omar's VC firm and bribe Ilhan Omar. Would you look at that? Wow, really tough life, by the way. Well, really tough life. Leave Somalia, and now you own a vineyard in Napa. Ooh. Remember, this is why and you hate America. You hate the country that did it for you, right? The latest financial disclosure shows a net worth of $30 million. That's a 66,000% increase in 6 years. Wow. Being in Congress, such a great deal. She should be under immediate investigation. If she was a Republican, she would be, and I'd be totally in favor of it. I don't care what Republican it is. Give me the name. I would be in favor of that investigation for sure. Ilhan Omar's net worth increased by 3,500% on a salary of $100,000. She has a net worth of $30 million. How's that? The venture capital firm is where all the money is coming from. Both of Minette's businesses appear to be struggling earlier in 2024. This is clearly an influence operation, an influence and lobbying operation. They did the same thing with the Bidens. Really makes you think. because of a shady venture capital firm that she invested in that had less than $1,000 in assets, ballooning up to $25 million in a year. Got it. This is so corrupt. It's just like in your face. This is how it works in Somalia, by the way. Right? Free Beacon did a check of the latest financial disclosure. It shows Omar are worth at least $6 million and as much as $30 million. Fight the oligarchy. Nancy Pelosi's portfolio, let's just call her that, grew by 720% in 10 years. Ilhan Omar's grew by 3,500. I mean, it's egregious. It's in our faces. Pretty cool to see socialists benefit from capitalism. We need an absolute and total investigation into her right now. Preaching socialism is the fastest way to cash in capitalism. So here's the disclosure report on your screen. There's the dollar amounts. We always show the data. There it is. Goodness gracious. You can find her financial disclosures right here. Man. Net worth ticker for members of Congress. Whoa. Look at this. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, investigation into the immigration fraud first, please. Then the financial fraud, and then deport. That's what I say. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comment section. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.